Hi, I'm John. Welcome to Twig Archery. Hey, today we want to talk about a new bow we're going to be carrying here. Told a lot of guys that I'm going to make a video on this and trying to do it. Tried to do it last night, but we had a thunderstorm move through. But anyways, I kind of delayed that. So here we are again, trying again tonight. It's a nice night here in Ohio. I hope everybody's safe out there. The world's a crazy place right now, and I hope everybody's staying safe. Looking forward to the hunting season coming up for everybody here, and that's one way to maybe relax a little bit. So anyways, what we want to talk about tonight is a new bow, and it is a ILF Nitefire, or Nitefire ILF. Same bow basically as the original Nitefire. Basically what happened with the original Nitefire is I tried to contact the a distributor to order more, and they told me it was no longer being made. They were going to the ILF style type bow, and I said okay. So they sent me this bow, okay, and actually it's nice. I gotta admit it's nice. So ILFs have a huge advantage over conventional bows. But anyway, this is the bow right here. This is the original Nitefire right here. Okay, that has the regular limb bolts that would go in. So every time you take the bow down, or want to pack it away in a case or whatever, you got to take these limb bolts out and so on. So that's maybe a little bit of a disadvantage with the ILF. You don't have that. You don't touch the limb bolts at all with those. What we want to get into first, I guess, would be I got to look at some notes here. Would be the bolt, just as I was talking about. There's no need to remove that bolt, okay, like you do on the old conventional style. So I'm just going to set this down. Also remember it has black limbs. We'll get into that a little bit later. So, nice bow, 60 inch. This bow is nothing, never going to be anything more than a 60 inch recurve or a 60 inch longbow. That's what it was. That's what it is designed for. And but a nice bow for sure. A lot of guys may be a little disappointed that we're no longer going to carry it, but I have no control over that. So here's the new Nitefire. Same riser, same riser. Only difference is the way it's milled out here a little bit and the way the limbs go in. So there's bolts put in there. Those stay in there permanently, and then the limbs just slip in real easy. So you never have to take these bolts out for takedown to put it in a pack or anything. So it's really nice that way. Another thing with the ILFs, a lot of people get afraid of the ILFs. So, a lot of beginners are like, ooh, I don't know, it's too complicated. It's not complicated at all. Once the bow is set, you don't have to touch anything. It's good to go. And it's not that a hard thing to set it at all, set it up, so to speak. So, but one thing with ILFs they can be adjustable by turning these limb bolts in a little bit for the poundage. You can adjust them a little bit, not a lot. 40-pound bow, might be able to get it up there to 43, maybe 44 tops. So they are adjustable. So that gives you a little advantage there for sure. These are going to be all advantages that the ILFs have over the conventional style bow. So the next thing would be the tiller. Okay, the tiller is generally measured from either the fade outs to the string, or from right at the riser to the string, without this quiver, you'd be able to get underneath there, and you measure that. Okay, that is, a lot of people don't realize this, but it's very important. The tiller is very important, and a lot of people nowadays are shooting what they call fixed crawl, which is basically, to me, the old string walking method, but it's called a fixed crawl, where they anchor, the arrow snapped on up here under the nock, but they're anchoring down here 1 inch to 2 inches lower. Okay, I can tell you this much. Any bow that's probably, if it's not tillered properly for that, whatever the price may be, it's just downright hard on this lower limb. because you're putting a lot more, if you're down here, you're putting a lot more stress on the lower limb, which could cause a delamination or something like that. So these bows are just not made for that. Conventional bows are just not made for that style of shooting. If you want to shoot string walk or fixed crawl, you need to get yourself an ILF bow for sure, because that way you can adjust the tiller here by using these bolts right here to adjust the tiller and get a negative tiller, or what I call reverse tiller. So it's going to not only shoot better, it's going to feel better, and it's going to be much better on your bow, especially that lower limb down there. So most of your top shooters around the world right now that shoot the open class, instinctive type shooting, they're shooting gap shooting, string walkers, fixed crawl, whatever you want to call things, but their bows are ILFs, meaning most of them also are, of course, metal, but ILFs are adjustable for this tiller, so you get this tiller adjusted properly. So just remember that when you buy a ceramic sage or any inexpensive bow and you try to shoot that thing down there, you can shoot it that way, but trust me, you're risking a problem here with delamination. So okay, so that's a critical thing with me with ILFs. That's one reason I really like ILFs. There's a lot of reasons I like ILFs, but that's one of them. Okay, the next thing would be the limbs. Another huge benefit with ILFs. These are the limbs we're going to go with. These are 62 inch, or I shouldn't say 60, the bow is 62 inch. These are longs, what they call longs. So you can get short, medium, longs, recurves. Short, medium, longs on longbow limbs. And I believe, I'm not positive on this, there may be a few custom bowyers out there around the United States that are actually making ILF limbs that are extra long. So that would give you a choice of even a 64-inch bow with this 17-inch riser. Not positive on that, but I thought I saw that somewhere where some custom bowyers are doing that. A lot of custom bowyers are going to ILFs, and that's very simple, the reason why. They're just so many advantages to them over a conventional style bow. So you could use any manufacturer's limbs on this bow. You could use Hoyt, Tradtech, Win and Win, Bosen, Samick. I mean, there's a ton of them out there that are manufactured limbs that will actually go on here. You could kind of make the bow whatever you want it to be if you really want to. And what's really nice, if you keep the bow for 5 years and you have a little issue with it, or you sell it to a buddy and he has an issue with it, and let's say the bow's no longer made, they don't even make the bow anymore. You could always get ILF limbs for it, because I don't think ILFs are going away anytime soon. So you could always get ILF limbs for this riser. Because all ILF bows, ILF means International Limb Fit. Anybody makes ILF limbs, they'll fit on this riser. They just go right down in there, real nice. So that's a huge benefit right there. There is a sideways movement on the limbs, adjustment on the limbs, meaning if the string isn't tracking just perfect down through the center here, you can adjust it right here a little bit by unscrewing it, and then one turn, screwing this over one turn. Of course, you unstring the bow to do that, and that will pivot that just a little bit out here too, to get that string perfectly aligned. So that's another added benefit to them. On this particular model here, you know, it's kind of my call on this, I guess, but I decided, you know, I know on the last bows, the Black Hunter, the Spitfire, the Nitefire, the original Nitefire, we went with black limbs because I thought they probably looked the best. But on this bow, I'm not so sure of that, and I've changed my mind a little bit on that, mainly because I thought the clear glass on this particular model looked really nice with the grain structure and everything to it. But probably the most important thing to me was we've had a really hot summer, pretty hot summer here in Ohio, kind of like old school summers. And a lot of days in the upper 80s, low 90s, even into the mid 90s here in Ohio. That's pretty hot for Ohio. And I can guarantee you this, that if you lay this bow down, which I've done, I don't have the little gizmo that sticks in there and tells me the temperature, but I don't really need that, I don't think. Because if you just take this bow and set it out there in the sun for 15 minutes, I'll guarantee you, this one's going to feel hot when you grab the limb. This one's going to feel warm when you grab the limb. And that's an important thing, because heat it can hurt limbs and also drop your poundage a little bit. That's why you'll probably never see an Olympic shooter out there shooting a Olympic style bow with black limbs. It's just not going to happen. I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think it's going to happen. They're always white, silver, something that reflects the heat, because they don't want to change in poundage here shooting. So we decided to go with the clear glass in the recurve style. A few guys have already asked me, are we going to carry more limbs? Possibly in the future, yes. If the manufacturer would come out with a longbow limb, possibly. But there's so many different types of limbs now for ILF bows. This bow here actually happens to have a bamboo core to it. Okay. Now you can get limbs, but they cost more. But that's why I decided to stick with the clear glass. You get into carbon with bamboo, about twice as much. Get into carbon with foam core, even more than twice as much. So decided to go with this right here, with the clear glass. I'm not sure what that wood is underneath. Could be zebra wood, but I'm really not positive on that, so don't quote me on that. But so in other words, you have clear glass, let's say zebra wood, and then bamboo, zebra wood, and clear glass on the back end belly. So how does the bow shoot? The bow shoots super nice. I mean, it really does. The Nitefire, original Nitefire, shot nice. I'm liking this a little bit more, and I think it's probably because it's 62-inch bow compared to a 60. I can feel that little bit of difference. They're 2 inches longer. It makes the bow feel a little bit nicer to me. That's just my personal feelings on it. So, but anyways, I guess that's about it today, what we wanted to cover. I just want to thank everybody for sticking with us during these troubled times. And this boat should be available, by the way, in about, they're telling me right now, 4 to 6 weeks. So hopefully we're going to have them in there. We've got them on order, ready to go. The limbs are ambidextrous, so you can use these on a lefty or righty. So all the limbs have been ordered, and the risers. And I did order in some lefty risers, not a lot, but some. So anyways, I guess that's it for today. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. And one more thing, I want a shout out to Mike Johnson in Kentucky. Hey Mike, appreciate the shirt, man. This is a Johnny One Shot shirt, and this is a whole another story that we could do someday. It's got a little thing on there on the back, a little logo. And actually, he went out and had this thing custom made for me, and I really appreciate it, Mike. It was awesome. And Mike and me share a little, kind of a close little bond, sort of thing, even though we never even met each other. His birthday happens to be on September 17th. Not the same year, but close. So we have the same birth date. And that was one reason why he sent me the shirt, so I really appreciate it. So someday we'll talk a little bit about that Johnny One Shot Club. And not an easy thing to get into, but it was a fun time. So thanks for joining us today. Look forward to getting these in, and I hope everybody can see these. Got pretty good look at them to see how this thing's going to look. Same riser. I know this riser is triggered here, and that riser is triggered. I just did that myself, and that's something we can do here extra. But anyways, thanks for joining us today at Twig. Remember to shoot Twig and score big, and we'll see you next time.